Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll be starting off in a child's pose position. Bring your big toes together, separate your knees, and then walk your hands out long in front of you and come to rest your forehead on your mat. Start to bring your focus and your awareness to your breath. Fill the space between your shoulder blades with every inhale. Feel your torso expand. And with every exhale, allow your hips to sink a little heavier towards your heels. Maybe try to crawl your fingertips a little further away from your hips just to create a little more length through your spine. Keep your breath moving. Long inhales and full exhales. And when you're ready, slowly press yourself up to an all fours tabletop position. We'll start to move through some sets of cat and cow. On your inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze and arch through your spine. And on your exhale, press into your mat and scoop through your upper back. We just start to find a little more fluidity, range of motion through the spine. We start to feel activation through the shoulders, the chest, and the core. And let your breath guide your movement here. We take about 5 sets total. And after your 5th set, bring yourself back to a neutral tabletop position, then extend your right toes back long behind you and give yourself a few shifts back and forth here just to feel some extra stretch behind your right calf and your right Achilles. And now we rotate into a modified side plank. So swivel your back left ankle and then reach your right arm up. Feel the outer edge of your back right foot really press down into your mat. Now reach your right arm up overhead and feel this nice long side stretch all along the right side of your body. And then slowly release back to all fours. We take the opposite side, extend your left toes back long behind you, and then find this little rocking back and forth. Just to stretch through your foot, your Achilles and calf. And now move into your modified side plank. Swivel your right ankle. Keep your right hand down, reach your left arm up. Actively press into the outer edge of your back left foot. And now reach your left arm up overhead. You find this nice stretch from fingertips to foot. Breathe into this space. And then slowly release. Come back to all fours. We're taking this again, but we're going to add on. So modified side plank, right foot goes back, swivel the left ankle. Reach your right arm up. Now option to extend your right arm forward and stay here. Option to lift your right foot up off the ground, or option to bend your right knee and catch your foot for this variation of a bind. If you're taking this variation, actively kick your foot into your hand and think of opening through the front of your torso. Wherever you are, release and bring yourself back to all fours. And we take the opposite side. So extend the left leg back behind you, swivel your right ankle. We start off in this familiar modified side plank. Option to reach the left arm forward and stay, or option to lift your left leg. You can bend your knee and catch your foot. Kick your foot into your hand if this is the variation that you're taking. Feel this nice openness through the front of your chest. And then whichever variation you've taken, slowly release, come back to all fours, and from all fours, flip your toes and transition to a downward facing dog. In our first downward facing dog, option to take some movement here if you'd like to pedal through your feet. Maybe take some movement through your face, buzz out through your lips. And then find a neutral position, energize your heels towards the ground. Press your armpits towards your big toe. On your inhale, lift your right leg up. And then from here, bend your knee, open your hip. Take any options that feel good in the joints of the right side. So maybe you roll up the ankle, bend your knee. Continue to actively press through your palms. And now step your right foot between your hands, lower your back knee down to the mat, and bring your hands to rest on your front right thigh. So we're starting to experience and feel a nice little stretch through the front of your left hip flexor. You might even feel a nice stretch in your right hamstring as well. Continue to press into the top of your right thigh with your palms. Allow that pressure of your palms to encourage more length and growth through your spine. Bring your hands down to frame your front right foot, flip the back toes, lift the back knee, forward fold. Bend your knees softly and slowly roll yourself up to stand. Open the arms, lift your arms up to the side, And now goal post your arms and we find a little back bend. Lift your heart towards the ceiling. Inhale to stand up, grow tall. And on your exhale, open the arms and forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift, lengthen through the spine, option to bend your knees. On your exhale, bring your hands down, step your feet back to a high plank. Pause and breathe in this high plank just to start to build a little bit of heat through your core. From here, lower yourself all the way down onto your belly, however you need to get there if you need to lower your knees. And we're coming into a little bit of a quad stretch. So take your left hand, so it's at the front of your mat, actively press down into the forearm and now bend your right knee and catch the big toe part of your foot with your right hand. This will be a dynamic stretch that we take 5 times. Pull your right heel towards your right glute to get a nice stretch into your right quad. Continue to actively press down into your left forearm. Make sure you're not just collapsing into your shoulder. And after your 5th go around, we switch sides. So your right forearm will come down. Actively press down and now bend your left knee, catch your left foot. And we take this the other way. Pull your heel towards your glute. Hold the stretch for about 2 or 3 seconds before you release. 5 times total of this dynamic quad stretch. And then after your 5th time, bring yourself up to a downward facing dog. We take the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg high, and then take some movement here. Bend your knee, open your hip, any small or big movements you need to take in the joints of your left leg. On your next inhale, re-extend your left leg and then step your foot between your hands. Lower your back right knee down to the mat and bring your hands to rest on your front left thigh. So now we're getting a nice deep stretch to the front of your right hip flexor. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Feel the crown of your head energize up towards the ceiling. Continue to press your hips forwards and down. And then slowly release. Bring your hands to frame your front left foot. Flip the back toes, lift the back knee, step your right foot to meet your left forward fold, and then slowly roll yourself up to stand. Open the arms wide to the side, lift your arms up, and then goal post your arms, find a back bend. Inhale to stand, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, lengthen through the spine, and then step your feet back to a high plank. From your high plank, we come to upward facing dog. You can flip to the tops of your feet if that's comfortable. You can keep your toes tucked. And we just hold this downward facing dog for a moment, just gently shifting from side to side. If this posture isn't attainable for you, you can come down into a cobra position, meaning that your thighs and your legs are on the ground. Wherever you are, slowly transition back to your downward facing dog. And now walk your feet towards your hands, forward fold. Bend your knees and slowly roll yourself all the way up to stand. We're moving into our balance series now. Shift your weight into your left foot. Pull your right knee up, one-legged mountain pose. Pause and breathe here. Notice how the left foot is reacting to this balance, that bottom foot. And now your right heel, pull it towards your right glute. Bring your right elbow to your right waist and then catch the instep of your right foot. Now option to stay right here. You can stay here if you would like to move into a dancer pose. Kick your right foot into your hand, tip your body forward to find your dancer stretch. So the only way this posture can happen is if you actively kick your foot into your hand. That is what brings you forward. Now this is a balance and this is a stretch for the shoulder, for the chest, and for the back. So there's a lot happening here. Release your hands. We come into what's called a no-armed dancer. Right foot is still up towards the ceiling. And we take some little pulses here, like you're trying to give the ceiling a high five with the bottom of your foot. 10 little pulses just to find some strength through the right glute and through the right hamstring. After your 10, standing split. Bring your hands down and try to straighten your top right leg. Rotate both of your hips down towards the ground. Breathe into the space you're creating in your bottom hamstring. Let your head drop nice and heavy to the mat. And now take a forward fold, release your right foot, separate your feet about hip-width distance, and now slide your palms underneath your feet so your palms are pointing up. Bend your elbows a lot and then try to pull the crown of your head down towards the ground. You can access this by bending your knees a lot as well. Let your head hang, let your jaw be loose. Now release your feet and slowly roll yourself upright to stand, one vertebrae at a time. And we move this balance sequence to the other side. Shift your weight to your right foot and pull your left knee up for a one-legged mountain. Reach your arms up overhead and then just notice what's happening with your bottom right foot. Breathe and grow taller with every inhale. Now pull your left heel to your left glute. Bring your left elbow to your left waist. Catch the instep of your left foot with your left hand. Option to stay here knee to knee, or option to kick your left foot into your left hand and move into your dancer pose. You must kick your foot into your hand in order to progress into this pose. Actively kick your foot as your heart space comes forward. Reach with your right hand forward. Continue to kick into your hand. Now slowly release no arm dancer. Bring your hands to heart center and flex your top left foot. We take 10 pulses here. Try to get your two hips parallel to the ground. Think of your left foot giving the ceiling a soft and gentle little high five. And after your 10th set, standing split, bring your hands down and try to extend through your left leg. Care less about how high the left leg is getting. I want you to think more about how long that top left leg can get. And then slowly release into forward fold. And from forward fold, step your feet back to high plank. And from high plank, lower all the way down to your belly, however you need to get there. We take one final little back bend here, bow pose. Bend your knees so your heels come to your glute. Now your hands catch the outsides of your feet, option to stay right here, or just as we found in that dancer pose, kick your feet into your hands to lift yourself up into your bow pose. So this is a really wonderful chest opener. Pull your shoulders away from your ears and kick your feet away from your head. Continue to kick to lift up higher. And now slowly, slowly release yourself down. Give yourself a moment of rest. Let one ear come to the mat. Let your hands come down towards your sides. You can wiggle your hips from side to side. That's a nice little release for your lower back. And however you need to, flip onto your back. We're going to find a counter stretch to all those back bends. So I'm going to give you a few options. Pull your knees to your chest, and then option one will be legs up the wall, just as I'm demonstrating here. If you have a wall nearby that you'd like to use, you can use that. You don't have to have straight legs, you can have bent legs. Option two would be the shoulder stand. You can lift your hips up, catch your lower back with your hands, and try to point your toes up towards the ceiling. Option three will be a plow pose. You can pull your knees to your forehead and then extend your legs back long behind you. Now, if you're taking either of the second two options, make sure that your neck is straight, meaning that you're not looking from side to side, but you're looking straight up at your ceiling. Give yourself 5 to 10 breaths. Just a way to counter all of those back bends that we worked into. And then wherever you are, slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your back. Let your legs come long and heavy in front of you. Let your arms come by your side. Allow your eyes to close here. Find a soft gaze. And take this moment of stillness and silence to reconnect to your breath. Let every exhale sink you a little heavier into your mat. Thanks for joining us today. And that's your flow.